Okay, I cleaned out my shelves and it feels so good. I have so much more room. I've never gotten rid of this many books before, but it feels really good. I'm just going to be giving them to friends, donating them. I could possibly make another little library video with all of these guys, but I ended up unhauling 25 books. I also bought 2 new kinds of tea recently because I was running low on tea, and so I decided to try some new ones. This one is so good. This is from Lloyd, and it is ginger cranberry. So good. Let me really quickly run you down these because I know people love a good book declutter. So first I'm going to get rid of this copy of The Mysteries of Udolpho because the print, I have read this book, but the print on this is actually like that's like my pinky finger. Are you kidding me? So I would love to get a new edition of this. I love this book. I just cannot, my eyes just won't, it just will not read it anymore. So that is the first guy. This one I actually have 2 copies of, and that is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I have read this copy, and this time I actually have 2 copies from Arcturus, but they're different colors, and the other one is a lot prettier. So I'm going to be getting rid of this guy. Then we have this really battered tiny copy of Romeo and Juliet, which again, the print is minuscule. I would love to get an updated edition. Okay, let's just randomly pull so we're not going in weird categories. Okay, this one I'm really sad about. I didn't really want to get rid of this one. This is The Break by Katerina Vermette. I love that first name, but I don't know which way she pronounces it. I actually started reading this month at the beginning of December, and I got like 140 pages through. This is a story, it's set in Winnipeg, right? I think it's set in Winnipeg, but we follow Stella, who is this young Métis mother, and she looks out her window and she like sees an attack or like an assault occurring on the Break, which is this strip of barren land in between like houses and buildings and stuff. And I did not know picking up this book that it was, I believe, primarily a book about sexual assault. I didn't know it was going to affect me so much. And basically I got that much in and I was like, this is going to be a phenomenal book. I just can't read it. I just cannot read it right now. And one of my friends, we were gonna like read this together. She said the same thing. I don't know if she's actually gonna finish it or not, but it was very, very hard to get through. So that is The Break. I would recommend if you're able to read something like this, because I can see the story like catapulting towards this momentous narrative. It's split between like 6 different perspectives as well, I believe, 6, 7, all narrating around this event of assault that takes place. So yeah. And then we have Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman, simply because I recently acquired the Deathbed edition, and this is the first edition, so the Deathbed edition is significantly bigger than this because it's all of the poems he compiled right before he died. So I do not need the 1855 edition anymore, and the Arcturus Deathbed edition is gorgeous. So yeah. Then we have a Nietzsche reader. I do have a bigger copy of Nietzsche's works bound up, and again, this is extremely small print, and I believe everything that is in here is in the bigger one. Then we have The Queen of the Night by Alexander Chee, and this is really funny because this book was in the first unhaul video I ever did. It's the only one I ever did right before the pandemic hit, and then the pandemic hit and I couldn't go and donate my books anywhere because everything was closed, and so I decided to give this one another shot, and I picked up the audiobook for it actually, and I was like, no, I still don't like it. So this book just doesn't work for me for some reason or another. I was really hoping it would give me Phantom of the Opera vibes, but unfortunately it just did not. So yep. I would love to get a good copy of The Origin of Species by Charles Darwin. But once again, this one is literally falling apart and the print is so small. It's in one of the orange spine penguins, so I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. We have, I think, a Roman mosaic, right? I will read it one day. I did try to read it out of this edition, but again, it was just, I couldn't do it. Moving into some nonfiction, I did read The Devil in the White City in 2020, right at the start. This is a nonfiction all about the Chicago World's Fair at the close of the century. Close of the 19th century, yes, and the serial killer who made the fairgrounds his basically hunting place, and he like had this hotel where he would take people to, and the hotel was essentially just like this place where he would kill them in a variety of different ways. So I thought this was really well researched. Is it something I would ever read again? No. Do I know someone could love this and read it. Yes, because I really did. I think this was great, and I know Eric Larson has done a lot of books like this, so I would definitely read more from him, but I have all of that information in my mind now, and I do not really need to go into that meticulous detail again. This is sad. I need to get a new copy of Great Expectations. Basically, the categories for unhauling is either I read it and I'm never going to read it again, read it or didn't like it, I own multiple copies of it, or I want a better edition of it. And for my Great Expectations, that is literally what, that is exactly what I need. So I think I'm gonna get myself a nice copy of Great Expectations, because this is literally like, the pages are just like, here is the spine. Here it is. I really don't know what happened. Like when I read this, well, when I listened to the audiobook and had this copy, it wasn't like this. Mom, did you do this? Because I know I lent her this book. And she does have a habit of when I lend her my books, either destroying them or leaving them out in the rain. But if this was you, I prefer the Penguin English Library. Mom, the Penguin English Library. Do you want me? I can spell it for you. Okay. Thank you. Then we have a few young adult. I have Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I think I'm going to give this one to a friend because I'm never going to read this again. I read this for the Dark Academics Book Club and it was just fine. I gave it a generous 3 stars, but not going to continue on with the story. Was not wowed, and I think it was so long. So I'm just going to pass this on. It's really beautiful. Then I randomly found that I had the Book of Constellations by Robin Carrad. Like tells you about the different constellations and like the mythological background of each of them. But like, not that I know all of this, but I have a lot of books that talk about Greek and Roman and everything myth, so I don't really need that. And I don't think I'm ever gonna read it. Okay, this one is sad because, okay, first of all, this is another book that is falling apart, but this book I got in my first year of uni. This is The Oldest Stories in the World by Theodore H. Gaster, and this is a collection of Babylonian, Hittite, Canaanite, and stuff like that. So it has the epic, some of the Epic of Gilgamesh, not all of it, so I would like to get the bigger editions of these stories, but this was actually given to me by one of my teaching assistants, one of my TAs, because I handed in an essay to her and I went and talked to her about it, and she was like, she really liked my essay and stuff, and we just had a really good relationship. And then she let me take a book from like the English Lit grad like library. They have the whole like thing that you can just kind of take books from, and I picked this one, and I have read it, but I am not going to read it again. I think I've graduated on to the bigger editions of these stories, but it was a really great starting place. So then we have The Sun and Her Flowers. One of my best friends was actually unhauling this last year, and I picked it up from her because I thought I wanted to read a bunch of modern poetry and then make a video on it, and I don't want to do that anymore. I know I just would not get along with this, would not like it at all. I've flipped through here a lot of times and I just absolutely I just cringe every single time, so I can't do it. It's not for me. So I'm gonna give this to someone who would enjoy it. Okay, we have the biggest like dark academia pile ever, because so many of the dark academia books that I've read I just did not enjoy. So the first one is The Furies by Katie Lowe. I'm so sad. I just did not like it. The only dark academia book I vaguely enjoyed is If We Were Villains. I did read this, didn't really enjoy it. I don't think any of us did for the book club, so gonna pass this one on too. The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I debated keeping this because I was like, you know what? It's Neil Gaiman. Maybe I'll grow into liking this book. This is actually on my least favorite books of the year list, surprisingly, but I really did just not get along with this book at all. So like when I flip through it, it just makes me feel yucky, and so I just don't want it around. All right, then we have Mistress of the Art of Death by Ariana Franklin. This one's been on my shelf for a little bit, but I've just never really gravitated towards it, never put it like on any sort of priority list. I think my roommate's mom gave this to me actually. So she unhauled it, and now I'm unhauling it, and I guess we'll see. This is historical fiction set in medieval Cambridge. I've really not been enjoying historical fiction recently, so I think I'm just gonna pass this one along. Another dark academia, we have Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I'm really upset about this one. First of all, it's just because, okay, first of all, it's beautiful, which is why I'm upset. I've held on to this book for so long, even though I read it a while ago and I hated it. But just because it's so pretty. Like, look at that snake skin spine. Are you kidding me? Ugh, just makes me so upset because this book was actually terrible in my opinion. Someone else is gonna love this. Then we have Slade House by David Mitchell. I adore David Mitchell. This is just a case of I have 2 copies of it, and one of the other copies was sent to me by a subscriber and it's signed. So I'm gonna probably pass this one on to a friend too, maybe for Christmas. Okay, what do we have left? Ooh. These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. One of the worst books I have ever read. With love. I say this with love, but one of the worst books I have ever read. And this one also is sad, and I've held on to it because I think it's gorgeous. I really do like it, and I do love the big hardcovers. And again, the cover. Okay, well, just mainly the knife. I have this edition of The Hobbit, which I didn't want to get rid of, but I don't need 2 editions of things. Unless it's Phantom of the Opera. I will make an exception for Phantom of the Opera, but I really do love this sweet little edition with Bilbo. I love it. And this one, I found this one thrifted, and it has a Pirates of the Caribbean sticker in it. But I do have the Lucy sent me the really beautiful, she sent me the whole box edition of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, but it's the really beautiful, like, shiny one. So yeah. Another dark academia. We have The Maidens by Alex Michaelides, also one of my worst books of this year, so I really don't care about getting rid of this one. Is it pretty? Does it have a pretty thing? Not really. I do like this, like, cover colors though. Anyway, definitely do not recommend this. Coming down to the last few, Red Rising I was really debating about, and just because I'm getting rid of the first one doesn't mean I'm not going to continue on with the series, because I actually might. It's just that I know I am going to remember everything that happened, and I'm probably never going to read this again. I listened to the audiobook, so I think I will just donate this sci-fi. Oh my god, the stack is getting so big. We have The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. Once again, we'll just never ever read it, although I do really love this white hardback. I took the dust jacket off because I thought it was ugly, but I really like this. But I hated the book, so it has to go. Finally, the last one here, we have Room by Emma Donoghue. I think this also came from my roommate's mom. I did not read this. And I really have no interest in reading. It's just about a mother and her son who live in Room, which is where they're stuck, I believe. I think it's like a dystopian, right? I just really have no interest in ever reading this, so yeah, that is the last one. We did it. Oh my gosh. Now I'm gonna have to pack all these up in a bag and ship them off. So, yep. I'm gonna go wrap up some Christmas presents, I think, and I'm really happy with how my bookshelves are looking. I have a lot of books turned out now, but thanks for coming to my unhaul. Morning, guys. So I just woke up like 20 minutes ago, but I made some coffee and I have been sitting here listening to my audiobook that I started, which I don't think I talked to you guys about. It is snowing. So happy it's snowing, but the one that I started is Christmas at the Island Hotel by Jenny Colgan, and actually, like, as soon as I started listening to it this morning and yesterday, I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna DNF this, really not enjoying it. I realized I was just kind of being a Grinch because it is very cheesy. It does read like a Christmas, what are those movies called? A Hallmark Christmas movie kind of thing. As soon as I was like, okay, Emma, just stop being a Grinch and like just fall into it. I'm really liking it now. So basically this one is set on the fictitious, which, like, I had to look it up and I was severely disappointed when I found out the island of Muir in Scotland does not actually exist, because that's where it's set. It's like on this remote Scottish island where this is like the 4th book in a series, but you can technically read them out of order. It was a little bit confusing at the start, but now I think I've got it. So we have a brother and sister who are all grown up. The sister, you know, has a child, blah, 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 but they are trying to restore and open this hotel on the island. And so the brother, Finton, has just like tried to hire on a chef and stuff like that. And we just have this like really colorful cast of characters. I know there's also a romance in here between Isla, who is someone we just met, and she goes to work at the hotel. I love books that are set in hotels. Like, I I love hotels. I love them so much. I think they're such an interesting thing. And we also have Constantine, who is basically like the disgraced son. He's like heir. He's like the prince of some also fictitious country, but he's basically just got all his privileges taken away, and he's been essentially shipped off to Muir to see what it's like to work for a living before he gets his inheritance. So he's working in the kitchens and stuff. So. Hi, so I'm just gonna sit down to wrap some gifts. It's a couple days later, but I just picked this candle to light while I wrap. I found this in my family's basement. Like, it was always one of the ones we'd put out with all of our decorations and stuff, but no one has ever lit it, or like maybe once. But it's really nice because it has a quote from Alfred Lord Tennyson on it that says, "The silent snow possessed the earth and calmly fell on Christmas Eve." But I'm gonna burn it now. Good evening. How are you? I am very sleepy. Something about the holiday season just takes it right out of me. But I'm here with a really good reading update because I finished the Enchanted Sonata by Heather Dixon Walworth. I gave this 5 stars. Can you... Oh, I just love this so incredibly much. It was just everything that I wanted. The descriptions in this are phenomenal. I loved the characters. Like I said, this is a reimagining of the Nutcracker, but it's actually more than that because there's also doses of the Pied Piper, and eventually it just gave me so many Phantom of the Opera vibes. The villain in here, who is the musician. It was just absolutely gorgeous, wonderful. The smells that came out of this book, like Heather Dixon just does a superb job at making you so hungry while you're eating and like while you're reading. It's like everything, like the frost and the city of Crystalgrad where this is set, like I just could feel absolutely everything. I loved it, just was so magical, exactly what I was looking for. This put me in such a wonderful mood. I literally just felt so happy reading this book and could just not put it down. So there's also like this huge candy emporium in Crystalgrad where a lot of the book takes place, which was amazing. There's a lot of different characters in here that I just loved, and overall it was wonderful. I will say it does read a bit on the younger side. I think this is technically young adult, but it definitely can read a bit middle grade-y at times, which I didn't really mind. It was just beautiful. It was wonderful. It's just all about the power of music, and that's another thing that she did a really great job with, because so much of this book uses music and musical language as description for, you know, a setting or a person, and it's just such an auditory and like visual and like just the 5 senses in here are so well paid attention to. It was beautiful. I'm so sad it's over. I will definitely be rereading this one, and now at this point I will definitely read anything Heather Dixon writes, although I'm a bit sad because I think she actually works for Disney now as like a storyboard artist, so I'm not sure if she's going to be writing any more books, but I do have one more on my radar from her, which is called The Illusionarium, which I wanted to read for years since reading Entwined, which was the first book I read by her. But wow, I gave this 5 stars. It was just absolutely wonderful. so enchanted. It enchanted me. So today is actually December the 22nd, so I'm gonna be really quickly starting tonight also one of my favorite books, one of my favorite young adult books, which is A Castle in the Clouds by Kirsten Gier. Very excited to reread it. It will be my first time reading it physically and my first time rereading it, so yeah, just so happy I decided to pick this up this year. I randomly found this at a thrift store, I believe, so yeah, I would highly recommend. There were also a few typos in this. I don't know why I said it weird the first time. I don't know if this was self-published, but like it's just edited by a bunch of people, so I actually don't really know. Oh yeah, it says published by the Wall Workshop, so I believe it might be self-published. Just so happy to have read this. So that is this guy. Gorgeous. Like I said, I've been having a very sleepy time of it. I think just like the holidays, it stresses me out a little bit. I do love Christmas, but it can feel very busy as well. And I've just been a little sleepy. I got a really bad sleep last night because there's like a windstorm, a huge windstorm. Like it was rattling everything and it was so incredibly loud, so I did not get a very good sleep. But I think I'm gonna have a really yummy dinner. I'm wearing my Christmas sweater that used to belong to my grandma, but she let me steal it and it like jingles. I've also been taking a little bit of a break from YouTube, which it's been nice, but I miss it. I just genuinely love making YouTube videos, and I just want to say thank you so much for all of your love this year. Like, it has just meant the absolute so much to me, and I just love each and every one of you so much, and thank you. Thank you for watching my videos. I don't know why this is turning into sap session, but thank you so much for being on my channel. I think I actually just might go back to editing tonight because I just love the whole process of YouTube and everything it entails. But it has been nice to just take a few days off. I've honestly been doing absolutely nothing, which I think was needed. So yeah. It's also been a bit stressful because COVID things here are, I'm sure everywhere, are not looking so great right now. And unfortunately I did get the email that my next semester is at least going to start off online, which is a bit disheartening, really disheartening. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go start another amazing book and I'm so excited. So yes. Hi guys, so it's the next day and I just sat down to start this. It is blizzarding right now outside and like I am so happy. This is so good. It feels like coming home. I just got like 20 pages through, but I feel like my heart is gonna burst. I just actually love this book so much. I love it so much. It just is so comforting to get back into. If you've not heard me talk about this before, we are following an intern whose name is Sophie Spark. I don't think that's her original name in the German, so I kind of wish they would have left it, but she is working at the Castle in the Clouds, which is a hotel up in the Swiss Alps, and when this book begins, her job has just kind of been neglected to that of the babysitter for all of the rich clientele that come and stay at the hotel, and she really does not get along with children. She just thinks they're little pests, and it's just like so fun. There's so many different people. You get to know like everyone who works at this hotel, and there are a lot of different quirky things that go on in this weird mixture of a book. Actually, Mary from Mary Among Stories is reading it right now, and she compared it to a Ghibli movie, and I totally agree. Like, it's just so quirky, so strange, so much fun. You're not really sure like what is going on in this hotel, and it's just been the absolute most wonderful time getting back in to reading it, especially because it's it like leads up to Christmas. Christmas happens pretty early on here, I think, and then I think it goes into New Year's too. Don't really remember, but it's just snowing and I'm loving it so much. And then the audiobook I started listening to is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, because my audiobook hold came in and I just got 100 pages through this. I started this I think yesterday or a couple of days ago. I'm really liking it. I'm really liking it. It is so fun so far, especially because it's like Raylo published fan fiction. I'm very much appreciating it. I'm really liking it. We follow a fake dating trope between Olive, who is a biology grad student doing a PhD, and a very grumpy young professor named Adam, who agrees to help her out because he wants to get some grant money, which people are not giving him because they think he's just gonna leave. So he's like, you know what, if people see that I have a girlfriend, they're gonna think I'm committed to staying at Stanford. I think they're at Stanford. So it's just really fun, really cute. I'm really liking it. So I'm just so happy with these. December has been just such a fun reading month for me, where I've just really been enjoying a bunch of light reads. And yeah, I'm also currently wearing my Dickens versus Tolstoy sweater, which I can finally show you guys. I've been wearing this sweater secretly in a bunch of videos, but I didn't want to show it until I knew that Carolyn got her sweater, because I got us matching ones for Christmas. But this is like my go-to sweater now. It's actually very cozy. I just designed it, or obviously this is Carolyn's design that she made, but I just like put it together on a website that I found that does like custom shirts. But yeah, I love it so much. Look at them. Anyway, I would love to get out into the snow because this book is just making me so happy. I'm so happy. It's currently Christmas Eve, so I'm also just absolutely so excited. I just sat down and filmed a little early Christmas unboxing of a bunch of books that came. Thank you so much. I had to rearrange my shelves again, and I'm waiting on a few last minute gifts to get here for my family so that I can wrap them, and I just really want to get outside. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, and then hopefully we can go on a snowy walk. That is so funny if those are the gifts I just had. Amazing. Christmas magic is in the air. Thank you. Okay, so one did come from my grandma. Grandma, I know you're watching this, so I can't show you, but I'm gonna wrap it right now for you. My grandma's actually coming over tomorrow, and then we're gonna spend Christmas with her. She'll come to my family's house too, because we always do. You're watching this. She actually reads every single one of your guys' comments as well on every single one of my videos. Yeah, she sees everything you guys say. So if you want to say hi to her, go ahead. She will 100% see it. This week there's been a few things I haven't vlogged just because, let me get this candle out of your way. I was just having fun doing them. One of my best friends finally came home from BC after a co-op there, and the day that we all got to reunite, like the four of us, my three best friends and I, and then my other best friend is still in BC, in Vancouver, but we all went to a pottery class, like, you know, making pottery, which I'd never done before, like on a wheel and stuff. It was really hard, but I ended up making a bowl. I think that's still currently, like, we left all of our creations there so they could put it in the kiln. And then was it last night, I think? Was it last night we went out for bubble tea? So that's been fun. It's been like a nice week just doing stuff. I'm gonna put this under the tree, and I'm gonna put on my winter gear. So there's an owl. I really want to get his little hoots on camera because it's so nice. I think we're gonna go try and find him, but a bunch of people are over there trying to look for him. It just sounds so magical. It's so quiet, and then all of a sudden, oh, I just want to hear it.
I found you.
That was such a magical Christmas moment. He's still up there. There he is. And this couple pointed him out to us. And they've named him George, and they've named his owl girlfriend Grace. And we saw him fly. That was amazing. Oh, it felt like Christmas magic. Oh my gosh.